strange and wondrous discoveries. That blue coat from childhood forced me to wonder vigorously about who I was, what constituted right and wrong, and how opposite, simultaneous truths could be grokked. This made me reflect on paradox and the counterintuitive truth that where opposites met, wisdom might be born if a person learned to hold them in balance. This embracing of contradictory truths without one canceling out the other was said by the wise whose books I began to devour to be the essence of wisdom itself. My mother was both good and bad. I both loved her and loathed what she'd done. I then repeated her crime on several occasions, regretting it long afterward. My sisters were indeed co-conspirators who kept their feelings to themselves. Every one of the previous items were true. Nothing human is foreign to me, said Terence, the Roman philosopher, and he wasn't kidding. We're kaleidoscopes of contradictions, satyricons of lust, greed, and hatred, rationalizers of fairness and justice, idolaters, cheaters, and fakes, not to mention hypocrites, with hearts that long to be divine. We are moral platypuses with seemingly mismatched parts who manage to come up with healthy eggs. Pulled in opposite directions, we search each day for some sort of middle path, a balance point, to navigate our way through this obstacle course. We ask ourselves the holy question, how ought we to live? Wisdom, in the sense that I mean it, has nothing to do with perfectionism. It doesn't pertain to idealism either, or pretending to be better than we are. You do not become good by trying to be good, but by finding the goodness that is already within you, allowing that goodness to emerge, a wise man told me. But it can only emerge if something fundamental shifts in your state of consciousness. That shift is what this book is about. We are born, each of us, with a moral organ, humankind's crowning glory. Two things fill the mind with ever-increasing wonder and awe, Kant wrote in his Critique of Practical Reason, the starry heavens above and the moral law within me. This organ isn't a literal thing, though its parts literally reside in the brain. It's an innate faculty similar to our human genius for language, mathematics, and art. In the 200,000 years since humans branched off from apes to create a new species, this moral organ came into existence to enable our ultra-social species to live together in relative peace. While it is true that the world is on fire with conflict stemming from hatred, anger, and greed, as the Buddha said, it is also true that more acts of kindness, tolerance, forgiveness, and patience transpire on any given day than the mostly bad things that make the paper. The sum total of goodness vastly outweighs that of meanness, science writer Daniel Goleman told me when we met for an interview. The ratio between potential and enacted meanness holds at close to zero any day of the year. Although humans inherit a biological bias that permits us to feel anger, jealousy, selfishness, and envy, we inherit an even stronger tendency toward kindness, compassion, cooperation, enthusiasm, nurture, and love, especially toward those in need. In spite of the horrors and the newsroom shibboleth that if it bleeds, it leads, the truth remains that the most of us are fundamentally ethical most of the time in most of the ways that truly matter. For carnivorous primates, this is nothing short of a miracle. Wisdom-wise, humans are works in progress. Still, this moral organ's potential will impress even the most pessimistic. Your greatest surprise may be to learn that it is primarily emotions that enable morality. Contrary to what we've been taught in a left-brain, logic-obsessed culture, emotions, not reason, are the bedrock of ethical life. Without them, the most rational human being cannot be empathic or morally sound. You'll learn that our ethical lives are dictated by complex, moment-to-moment interactions among the most ancient parts of the brain, the limbic system that houses emotion, and the most recently evolved part, the neocortex, where reason, language, and analysis are created. The neocortex is also where the immoral imagination, our ability to step outside of ourselves and into the feelings of others, takes place. The understanding of what it means to suffer not only our own pain, which anything with a rudimentary nervous system can do, but also the pain of others, has long been considered the distilled essence of our humanity. Altruism, which comes from the Latin root alter, or other, could not exist without this distinction. Our moral organ has 5 primary foundations. Similar to our language faculty, which enables us to learn parts of speech, juggling nouns, adjectives, and verbs.